Smasho here, and welcome to the Daily Space Weather, coming at you from the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. We've got some data issues with the SDO site once again today. We'll still bring us some fresh imagery of the closest star. Here is the GOES 16 SUVI, 131 angstroms wavelength for the past about 2.5 hours. Solar activity has been low in the past couple of days. And here's a recent high-res image of the closest star. That is from 10:35 Universal Time on today, November 28th. Here's another high-res image from a little bit earlier. We've got a coronal hole facing the Earth at the moment. We've got a slightly elevated solar wind speed as well. Also, some interesting volcanic eruptions, to say the least. The world's largest volcano is now erupting. It is now set to red. We'll get to it. First, Etna is back to erupting, so it's currently snow-covered. And the lava flow may cause an explosion of steam and water. A phreatic explosion possible coming from Etna. Semeru. Flight level 140, 14,000-foot ash plume over Semeru. And the world's largest volcano, Mauna Loa, is now erupting. There is a lava lake at Mauna Loa. And, volcanic alert level set to red as effusive lava begins to ooze out of the Moku Awio Summit Caldera. The Moku Awio Summit Caldera, yes. So, new vents are opening up there. A curtain of fire is showing up. The world's largest volcano is now erupting. Volcanic alert level raised to red. Winds may carry volcanic gas and possibly fine ash and typical Hawaiian-type phenomenon, Pele's hair downwind. Popocatépetl also exploding there in central Mexico, flight level 240. Flight level 150 over Guatemala from Fuego as Fuego explodes. Sangay and Revenador in Ecuador both exploding. Flight level 240 over Sangay. Flight level 170 over Revenador. It's a 17,000-foot ash plume. Not sure if Sabancaya is erupting or not. Don't assume that it is. Please don't pole vault the caldera over down there in Peru. Volcanic ash not identifiable in satellite imagery. Once again, there is the Mauna Loa summit crater and some effusive lava filling up that Mauna Loa summit crater. Next, we'll check earthquakes. Largest quake of the past 24 was near the Azores. There you go, slightly west of the Azores. It was a 5.9 magnitude quake. It came in early this morning at 2:51 Universal Time. Let's scroll up the rest of the list here. So there was also a 5.1 at the Pacific Antarctic Ridge, way down there in the South Pacific. So quake activity has been pretty minor here over the past 24. A 5.0 at the Mariana Islands there near the deepest portion of the ocean. Again, 5.9 west of the Azores was the largest quake. Kermadec Islands had one only 5 minutes later there, north of New Zealand. Quite a ways around the world there. A quake occurring nearly simultaneously there. And a bunch of earthquake activity there in Hawaii also, like a 4.2. And where is that located? Under Mauna Loa, you ask? Well, it certainly is. Right under the main caldera, a 4.2 magnitude quake at Mauna Loa. So Mauna Loa certainly awakened, as it is now producing lava. Don't worry, folks, it's only the world's largest volcano. What could possibly go wrong? Tonga also had a 5.4 magnitude quake. What could possibly go wrong, folks? If you think volcanoes make the earth warmer, well, let's see what happens. We've got, how about this one? It's a 2.9 magnitude quake, 1,800 meters above sea level. Here's a 2.6 at 2,500 meters above sea level. Seems like some magma. What do you think? Here's one at 3,200 kilometers above sea level. Wonder where that's located. Directly under the main caldera? Well, not really. It's under a foothill. Nonetheless, that quake occurring 3,200 meters above sea level. That is what you call a shallow quake. By the way, don't forget to press like and subscribe. Tell your friends and foes about the channel. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter if you haven't already done so. Follow us over there on Twitter. Make yourself an account. Help to fight against the pathetic censorship that still exists on the platform. People think free speech is fixed. Well, it couldn't be farther from the truth. It's not fixed in any stretch of the imagination. Check out these stats. We've got 17.8 thousand tweets and 338 followers. How's that fixed free speech working out for you, Elon? It's real fixed over there, isn't it? Real fixed. Shadow bans continue. They're now called deboosting. It's truly pathetic. By the way, save 20 to 60% on our merch. You can find links below the video, as well as on our homepage at smashomash.com to the Smasho merch link. If you click the links, you can save 20 to 60%. You'll see our products in order of best selling. And we've got a new one today because we've always got new things to be alarmed about when it comes to creating videos about space. And today's featured product is But-Ma Galactic Current Sheet. Yes, the Galactic Current Sheet. Cuddle up with your friends and foes under a nice, comfy galactic current sheet for the apocalypse. Because the last thing you want to do is be cold. So pick yourself up a comforter, a duvet cover. How about some floor pillows? Yeah. What about a throw pillow, throw blanket? All sorts of different ways to get under the galactic current sheet. We know how spooked you are. Ho-ho knows, folks, the galaxy's going to kill you. But before that happens, make sure you pick up some merch. Oh knows, the galaxy is going to kill us. Before that happens, make sure you cuddle up for the end times under our commemorative galactic current sheet. Don't get caught with your loins unblanketed. Live in a bunker in style and tell your bunker mates all about why civilization has been destroyed. It's, of course, because of the galactic current sheet. Pardon my sarcasm. Let's get back to space. So here is our magnetogram from the El Teide, Spain ground-based solar observatory, and things have been quite stable here over the past 24. The 10.7 centimeter radio flux is still only at 107 solar flux units. There is the 1-year chart of that. To put it in context, it's this black line. The red line below it is the sunspot number. And let's take a look at the Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard, which didn't forecast any geomagnetic storms, but we just had one. We had a KP5 plus brief period of time there, as we saw an increase in the solar wind speed especially. We'll get to it here momentarily. No additional space weather storms forecasted there by NOAA. Here's Earth's magnetic moment for the past 4 hours. That's Earth's magnetic moment from space, by the way. As we approach the December solstice, again, some higher speed solar wind coming in here at the moment. Current conditions are over 600 kilometers per second, and it's causing some ground magnetic perturbations as well. This is Earth's magnetic moment from the ground. And those red areas are the most likely places to see aurorae, pipeline, railway, and power line induction. The scale depicted here, the units depicted here are scaled in nanotesla, which is magnetic flux density. Again, that's the last 4 hours of Earth's magnetic moment from ground level. Current conditions are KP 3.33. So we came off of this brief geomagnetic storm condition there quite promptly. And let's go to the real-time solar wind. So real-time solar wind here, we're above 600 kilometers per second, or very close to it. Current conditions are very close to 600 kilometers per second for the solar wind speed. Solar wind density just over 12 protons per cubic centimeter. Let's move on to magnetic data. So here are the GOES 16 and GOES 17 magnetometers. Looks like another coronal hole high-speed stream. Interestingly enough, this one was not preceded by a density wave, or at least not a major one. Only a small density wave there. So we are expecting another coronal hole high-speed stream from the one that's facing the Earth. We'll get to that here in a moment. Let's take a look at the heliospheric current sheet next. Earth remains in a North Pole current sheet. There is a South Pole one headed this way. You can see it there depicted in red. Here's our solar line of sight field plot. The sun's B field depicted here in blue. North solar polar field in green, south solar polar field in red. And let's move to coronal holes. So we do have some South Pole oriented coronal holes way up here in the northeast. Right up here you'll see some red coming over the horizon there. That is a South Pole oriented coronal hole. These are North Pole oriented coronal holes here in the center of the solar disk. Let's take a look at that from the GOES 16 SUVI and 193 angstroms. There are the last about 2.5 hours in that species of ionized iron. And that brings us to sunspots. So no new sunspot groups. I think there is a little bit of growth having happened down here in the southwestern limb, sunspot 3151, for example. I think that is the most likely place to see any major flares, and we haven't seen any significant flaring here for a while. There is some likelihood yet, as most of those sunspots there are somewhat magnetically complex. They are beta-gamma class sunspot groups. And here's our thematic map, also from the GOES 16 SUVI. We are still waiting on this active region up here, the one associated with the Eugene Bagashov filament. We'll get the filaments here momentarily. First, energetic particles. So we ain't got none. The ghost proton flux here remaining flat for weeks. X-ray flux also quite flat here. It's pretty calm conditions. Not a lot of flaring, not a lot of X-ray output in general from the closest star here at the moment. Here's a good wavelength to view solar flares. 94 angstroms. And once again, things quite quiet at the moment. Next, looking at a star chart. We're always interested in what's going on above our head. So we bring up our star chart here. This is in-the-sky.org. Mars setting in the west. Cygnus rising in the north-northeast. Let's do a solar system forecast. And by the way, if you're wondering which direction it is to the galaxy, it's in that direction. How do I know? Well, by looking at the star chart, you see. There's the galactic plane. There's Mars. Therefore, the galaxy is off in this direction. In any case, here's your 1 week forecast as we've got currently a crescent waxing moon. And there's where things will be in a week as we approach the December full moon, which will occur around the 7th, it looks like. Next, take a moment to visit our websites. Help us out with clicks. If you are unwilling or unable to open your cobweb-encrusted wallets and send us a few bucks per month by becoming a member of the Smash Team, help us out with clicks. Visit us on social media. Press share on our posts. Become a patron. Yes, there is a free level at Patreon, believe it or not. There's also a free level at smashamash.com/smashteam. It's the bronze level. You can also find other links there, so make sure you visit those. Links such as Hemp Lucid. And you can save some cash by using our links. Again, also below the video, some new mushroom products out there. There's also a 10% start here and save 10% coupon. You can also save by getting free shipping on orders over $69. They make great gifts. The water-soluble CBD tincture being the most popular. Shop by solution, perhaps. Again, visit our links. Help out the channel that way. Give Smash staff a raise. And give out some great gifts from our latest affiliate/sponsor. Next, looking at coronagraphs. We've got a conflagration happening on the far side of the sun. We'll show you. There's going to be a massive CME, and many people will probably think that it's earthly directed. But it probably will not be. We'll have to keep an eye on it. And when I say ion, oh, well, pardon the pun. So that's yesterday's coronagraphs from George Mason University. Let's take a look at what we've got today. That's 102 frames from yesterday. Here are 40 frames from today. Again, we've got some major activity happening on the far side of the sun. There's going to be a huge CME occurring today. We'll be streaming it live at twitch.tv/smashamash. Let's take a look at Stereo A and the Soho Lasco C3. You see all this plasma. Check out that plasma on the far side of the sun. Yowzers. For you new viewers, Earth would be off in this direction. So those are nowhere near Earth directed. They're exactly opposite of that. But that might appear as a halo on the Soho Lasco C3, and when that happens, people often think that it's an Earth-directed CME when it in fact is not. We could still have earthly directed CMEs, though, so that is why we look at both of the instruments. Once again, Stereo A located out here at Lagrange 5. Soho Lasco C3 located here about 1 million miles between the Earth and Sun at Lagrange point 1. Next, looking at filaments. We've got the Kamala Harris filament is setting down here. We've got the Chuck Schumer filament right here, still largely intact. And also the AOC filament right here, which has since split into 3. We're also still waiting to see if the Eugene Bagashov filament remains intact. So likelihood of coronal mass ejections is at 100%. There's one happening on the far side of the sun right now. We'll also be streaming to see if any of these should be headed our way anytime soon. Here's some more current GOES 16 SUVI imagery. Even if it's dark where you're located, the sun is still shining. Here's still more GOES 16 SUVI imagery. And it's time to move to bonus features. We've got some minor charging hazards here at the moment. Surface charging here happening over the Central Pacific. And a little bit of Mexico there. Also the Caribbean seeing some minor surface charging. That's caused by low energy electrons on the outside of spacecraft. And the GOES electron flux has cratered here, something we typically see with a coronal hole high-speed stream impact that we are experiencing now. So it looks like We may see a little bit lower levels here than the NOAA forecast. The green boxes are the forecast. The yellow diamonds are the observation. And there's the one-year chart to put that in context. Let's take a look at the F ionosphere layer next, which is where the GOES 16 and GOES 17 make their measurements using radiography from their geosynchronous orbits. And here's the vibrational frequency of the bridge between Earth and space. The F layer is located at about 300 kilometers of altitude. And megahertz are what's expressed in this imagery. That's millions of vibrations per second. And let's switch to the anomalygram here, as we've got some interesting weather forecasts to bring you also, and we don't want the video to be too lengthy. So here's the anomalygram. That's anomaly in megahertz from the 30-day median. And here's the latest image, 11:45 universal time ionogram and 11:45 universal time anomalygram. Next, a total electron content forecast. It'll show you the most likely places for GPS errors. Free electrons can mess with your GPS readings. There's a still image from Australian Government Bureau of Meteorology. And here is the animation. Seeing very low electron contents there over the west central Atlantic, the west equatorial Atlantic. And anomalously high electron counts over North America once again. Unfortunately, these images are not of any use. Those are from yesterday. Those are 11:27, so let's just ignore those. And we'll take a brief look at the GOES 16 SUVI 304 angstroms wavelength. Once again, this is what we'll be streaming live to Twitch all day today, twitch.tv/smashomash. And it's time to do meteorology and take names. Leave your name in the comments section. If we don't know your name, tell your friends and foes about the channel. We'll tell our friends and foes about you, and everybody will be pals. So here is the ultraviolet. It is the UV and erythemal dose rate index. The sunniest part of the Earth is southern Africa and the southern Atlantic Ocean. Those are the highest levels of UV. And let's go to the dark side. You will never understand the power of the dark side. But you will understand the surface winds of the dark side, because there they are. Surface winds of the dark side looking like this. Jet streams of the dark side looking like this. Jet streams of the western world looking like this. As more snow is headed to the U.S.'s way. Next, surface winds looking like this. Surface winds of the central world, that is Africa, Europe, and the Middle East, looking like this. And these are the jet streams of the central world. And let's move on to a clouds and fog map. Great animation there from the NASA GOES Interactive Weather Satellite Suite. As NASA takes the croissant-shaped Earth and projects it onto a spherical image to fool you into thinking that the Earth is anything besides croissant-shaped. Stop believing NASA's lies. Everybody knows Earth is shaped like the French pastry. By the way, if you're not a member of ShoreMed, I'm a member of ShoreMed. Why not join us? improve your health. The doctors by phone alone is worth $20 a month. Perhaps add accident insurance with a Plus membership. If you're somebody like me who rides thousands of miles a year on a bicycle, it's not a question of if you'll crash, it's a question of when you'll crash. So perhaps do that. The SureMed base membership, by the way, is not insurance. It just offers you a ton of discounts. It's a membership of the American Better Health Organization, which is focused on improving your health. Become a member of the Smash Team if you haven't, at the gold or silver level especially. Thanks to everybody who has supported the Smash News Network, Least Busted Name and News, as we bring you only the most comprehensive space weather and detailed imagery of the closest star you'll find anywhere in the world. Again, become a member of the Smash Team at smashomash.com/Smash Team. It's our own subscription services site. We just replaced Patreon with a superior one, although we still are on Patreon. Credit Crawl coming back soon. It's going to be a thing once again. People seem to have liked it, seeing their name in lights. So join at the gold, silver, or even the bronze level to get email alerts about disasters and things like that. Press like, press subscribe, press share on YouTube. As our subscriber count is just completely stagnant, we put up some videos about leftovers yesterday. We made turkey mac and cheese and stewed tomatoes. It was splentacular. Also some imagery of Jaws and Phelps, our trained attack fish. If you haven't seen those, check them out. We got playlists with all kinds of things like cosmology segments, smashomash.org presents The Sun, driving, riding, and pro tips, the Diamond Anvil, Too Hard to Smash, Terms Defined, music videos, and more on our playlists, youtube.com/smashomash/playlists. Again, press like, subscribe, share, etc. And perhaps help the channel out with clicks by visiting our links. Next, our weather.gov map. If your county is lit, click your county. If your waterway is lit, click your waterway. What the heck is going on around Hawaii? Hawaii's got an ashfall advisory all around the Big Island. So pretty serious news there. Mauna Loa, Earth's largest volcano, erupting. If your county's lit, click your county at weather.gov. We've got some snow rolling in, so let's check out the totals for the next 3 days. This is your GFS forecast for the next 3 days, and parts of Washington are going to get buried in over 3 feet of additional snow there. That's the GFS accumulated positive snow depth change forecast in inches. 72-hour GFS snow depth change forecast right there. It's quite a lot of snow falling in portions of the Pacific Northwest. Next, pressure and precipitation. Some heavy storms expected to develop here in places like Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, South and North Carolina. Especially Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. Heavy snows coming especially to Washington, also to Oregon, and large portions of the Rockies. Let's also do a temperature anomaly forecast since we're getting some hot and some colds. There's your GFS temperature anomaly forecast in degrees Celsius. And like our other two forecasts, that is the 72-hour GFS. Continuing on to windy.com. Let's zoom in a little bit here. We're going to advance this 3 days to see where things will be on Thursday. So there's where the snow will be on Thursday. And that's quite a bit of snow for portions of Washington here. Expecting to have like 70 inches. $75.7 inches forecasted there by Thursday for portions of Washington. Here's where the lightning's been striking for the past 10 hours, and quite a bit in Central America there. Not so much in the U.S. Let's see if we have any terrestrial strikes. It doesn't look like it. We do have some in the Mediterranean. Continuing on, here's our U.S. Doppler radar map, ground-based systems that show vertical motion of water droplets in the air column. Hawaii's getting some significant precipitation there. Also the Alaskan Peninsula. We'll focus on the lower 48 for the remainder of the video. Here's shortwave radiation showing clouds and fog. Clouds and fog are looking thusly. And here is the water vapor map. We've got a lot of high pressure down here. This is all dry, massive air. Remember, folks, nitrogen is more massive than water vapor. N2 is more massive than H2O, which is why dry air is associated with high pressure. There's your little meteorological tidbit of the day. Here's your recap. Lower 48 Doppler radar map. Shortwave radiation map showing clouds and fog at 3.9 nanometer infrared. And there is the water vapor showing all the water vapor, not just that which is condensed onto clouds. Thanks for tuning in to the Smash News Network, Least Busted Name in News. We're delighted to bring you the content on the daily. I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. Smash-O-Mash, signing off from the Smash News Network, Least Busted Name in News, and may that solar wind be at your back.